Hello and welcome to Microsoft Ignite. Today I've got a very special guest from the Power BI team. So Adam, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Adam Saxton. I'm a Principal Program Manager on the Power BI product team, focusing on customers and our field interactions with those customers.
Very cool. So I'm really glad to see you here at Ignite. So what's the most exciting things that's happening at Ignite for you?
Oh
What's
man,
the best news?
I would say I always love the customer interactions, but I did love during Satya's keynote the whole open data initiative that's going on between Adobe and SAP and Microsoft. So it ties in with some of the products or some of the features that I've been working on, like data flows and the common data model and things of that nature. So it's interesting to see like all of them are hooking into that as well. So it's a good sign.
Oh, that's very good. Well, one great thing about me doing this interviews is I get to ask you directly about all these things that I really want to know about. So it's actually really selfish me doing this.
Yeah.
So please tell me more about data flows and the common data model. I'm just learning about. There's so much to learn. I'm trying to keep up.
Yes, and data flows is really, think of it like self-service data warehouse, right? So we've had the ability to do self-service reporting, and with Power BI Desktop, we've got this nice thing called Power Query, which lets you do these like light ETL type shaping and mashing up of data. But what it does is it traditionally bypasses your normal data warehouse, right? And so where is that step in the flow? And I think data flows is really that data preparation layer in the stack that was missing. And so it's going to allow us to do that and have a central point of data, and then we can build those semantic models on top of that.
That's very cool, because I always think the data prep bit is actually one of the most unloved parts of the whole data chain of events, and it's actually one of the most important.
Yes, absolutely.
Because without that, you don't have business intelligence, you don't have AI, you don't have data visualization, you've got none of it.
Yes.
So I'm so glad you're doing that. I must tell you one customer story who they came to me and they said, how can I find out where Excel is gone? And I said, oh no, there's a question behind the question. I really have to find out what's happening.
It's right there on your desktop.
So apparently they'd rented some data from another company, and of course it was emailed around the building, and it ends up on the company's website. So the first legal letter from the company they were renting the data from said, take it off the website. The second one said it needs to come out of all of your databases because you shouldn't have it everywhere. And the third lawyer's letter said, get it out of all of your backups for the last 30 days in your UK data centres up and down the country. So actually, where I see data pools coming in, it's all about that, nodding towards that sort of governance lineage, so you can find out who did what. Because these chain of events must happen much more frequently than we like to admit.
Yeah, and the lineage piece will definitely have a play in there in terms of like the concept of linked entities.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Matthew's talking about that in his session. Matthew Roach talking about that in his sessions on data flows, and that offers that capability of if one entity changes, you can have the cascade effect and know like what happened.
Yes, and that would help solve a lot of problems,
amazing.
I think. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So what's about the common data model? I'm interested in that as well.
So the common data model, it has its births in Dynamics. So that's where it basically came from.
Yes.
And so we're taking that, and this is really that entity model, right? So we've got known entities. So an account is an account is an account.
Yes.
And it's just a known schema, essentially. And so we're taking that with data flows and we're introducing those known entity types from a schema perspective, and then that is basically being applied to the data flow structure. And then we can have things such as other Azure services, we can have Dynamics plugin, and then as we saw with Adobe and SAP, they're going to honor those as well. So now it's like we've got this common schema that's going across everything. And what's nice when you pull things in from a data flow perspective is you can map whatever it is structure in your database, you just map it to that entity type.
Okay.
And if you have an entity type, or if you don't really match any of that, you can have a custom entity type. So you're not limited to that.
Yes.
And then we want also like partners and providers to be able to feed their entities into the system.
Well, that sounds really good. It's almost like building blocks to allow
it's a
data
framework,
analysts
right?
to do stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's really
cool.
cool.
So that's the larger vision of it.
Yes.
So.
It's fantastic because I think it'll allow companies to look horizontally throughout their organisations at their data, because usually it's very siloed. You end up the marketing department, the sales department, but actually having that, as you say, the commonality of it, I think that's so exciting. It seems like we're solving all these problems in BI that have been around for years.
Well, this is the traditional 20-year problem of data warehousing, right? We just with the ad hoc reporting, we kind of bypassed all of it. So now we're getting back to what we've known the whole time, right? This is nothing new. It's the challenge has been there for a very long time. So we want to get things away from all of these little data silos, right? We want to have that central source of truth, and it's kind of a thing we keep chasing. I don't know that we'll ever get there, but this definitely helps in that journey.
Yeah, absolutely does. Because I do think organisations have got data all over the place, but just trying to grab a hold of it is going to be such an important thing for businesses going forward. And I think starting in dynamics is such a crucial area, because who doesn't want to understand their customers, right? Everybody needs that piece of information.
And the nice thing about data flows is we hook in, we base it on the common data model, but this is not just a dynamics thing, right? Dynamics is very much a piece of it, but the idea here is that I can go into Power BI, and I may not be this super data architect person, but I can go and create a data flow. I get that common Power Query interface that I'm used to, and I can orchestrate all of that with Power Query, and then I've created that data flow, and it just works.
That's amazing. It sounds you're making it so easy for people.
Self-service data warehousing.
Yes, I can't wait to get started with it.
It's great.
That's it. So you're here at Ignite, and you're delivering sessions?
I am. So Josh Kaplan and I delivered a session yesterday on Power BI Premium, kind of monitoring and when to know to scale up and down, basically performance guidance.
Yes, that's important.
I just got done delivering a session on Power BI Embedded, so kind of like an intro, like how does all of this work. And then on Friday morning, Wukash and I can't pronounce his last name.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to try.
He and I are delivering a session. It's kind of a mix of the new workspaces that are in Power BI and just deployment type items, along with admin and governance. First thing Friday morning.
Oh, all of those sound great, actually. Yes. So, well, good luck with those. I'm sure they'll go great.
So much.
I'll try and attend if I can.
All right.
I'd love to come along. So thank you very much for your time. So thank you to Adam Saxton for joining us today for this Community Reporters edition for Microsoft Ignite. Thank you, Adam.
Right. Thank you.